You're tuned to Music and Ideas. We want to get to our interview with Leonard Muyelele, and Vicki Legman is here with us as well. Welcome, you guys, to the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leonard, all the way from Kenya, thank you so much for welcome to Seattle.
Thank you.
And welcome to the U.S., his first ever trip to the U.S.
Yeah.
And we are going to be talking to you. This is normally our segment, What are you doing this weekend? And so we're going to tell you something you might do this weekend that is not only a lot of fun, but it's going to be very helpful to some kids back in Kenya. And full disclosure, Vicki Legman and her husband Dana are dear friends of mine, as are others involved with this benefit through the Seattle Partner Dance community. And so tomorrow night we've got an event over, Vicki, it's on Lake Union,
it's
right
on
off
Lake
Union.
Union, right off Dexter. It's a fabulously fun party. We represent the Star of Hope American side, and we have only about 2 fundraisers a year, and this one is the one where we have a live band, we have food. You just talked about allergies. There's gluten-free, there's vegetarian, along with the carnivores. A band called the Bouchards, which is really fun to dance to or really fun to listen to. An auction with a professional auctioneer, David Silverman, who you don't need to buy anything. He's as funny as a stand-up comic.
He is great. Yeah. I've seen him before.
Sure.
It's a great time. But first we want to talk about, Vicki, your connection with Leonard, and how'd you come to know the Star of Hope Center over there in Kenya?
We sort of got involved with the Star of Hope by accident way back in 2003 when my son was about 19 years old. He went over to Africa to volunteer and travel. He went over on his own dime, saved his money. And when he came back from that amazing experience, he came back talking about this amazing man that he'd met at an orphanage called Pistis, which is not ours, but it's in another larger city, and what this man was like, and that he had inspired our son too much. Roll the clock forward till about 2009. Our family decided we were tired around the holiday season buying presents for each other that we didn't want, need, or would remember, and we decided to put on a holiday party for the kids at Star of Hope. Mm-hmm. And that was great fun, and people volunteered, and we screwed up our courage and asked a few family and friends if they'd like to throw in a few bucks, and they did. And then there was a little girl there who needed eye surgery, so then we had a full-fledged fundraiser, a little dance, and then one thing led to another, and we had to get all grown up and become a 501c3, and then we decided we had to meet Leonard for ourselves, so we went to Kenya a couple of years ago to see the school. I can't tell you how difficult Africa is, and Star of Hope is magical. It is a magical, beautiful place.
So we were just talking about that. Leonard was complaining a little bit that he hadn't seen any cows around yet. And so you come from a pretty rural place there where the orphanage is.
Yes, we are based far, we call ourselves far-flung because very far away from capital city, very far away from a closed town where you can access electricity or running water. We get everything just from, we get water from the riverside, and our natural light is everything. Sunrise and sunset. After sunset, it's all dark.
That's it.
So that's it.
Day over.
Yes.
No partying at the...
Yeah, probably if you do it under moonlight.
So tell me about the children. How do they become orphans, and how do they come to you?
Okay, we have very moving issues within our community. Poverty is a very big issue. I don't think I need to overemphasize that. That's information you will always hear about Africa. And so we have had HIV and AIDS coupled with poverty, coupled with unemployment, and it has created a community which is highly dependent because there's nothing to get one to live on. So under such a circumstances, we have babies who come along as orphaned because of the HIV and AIDS ravages from other sicknesses. We are in a malaria-prone area. So to have orphans is not like a surprise because of all these things. Then secondly, we have kids who are coming from teenage parents and who will not really be having a functional family. So maybe a year-old girl gets a baby and she wouldn't know what to do with it. Her parents are poor, so she would just like throw the baby, disappear somewhere, and so we have lots of such a kind of kids. And then you will find that since it's rural, some of these abandoned children or orphan, they will be left with aging grandparents who by themselves, they cannot even fend for themselves. So that is what informed my response to just try and do something within the village, because I grew up watching my late dad and mom just helping out people. And that is how like also Star of Up emerged. I was responding to something which my late parents used to do, but this time around with some information, like just trying to give it a structured way of helping out. And as Vicki mentioned, it's been something I was doing before in a different town called Nakuru. So when I went back to the village, basically to take care of my mom who was sick then, I started getting involved in what she used to do, but now with some form. And that's how Star of Hope has the story, yes.
Now, how many kids do you have in
now
your care?
Right now we take care of about like 106 kids. But right at the home, those staying in our Star of Center are now close to 60. So half of the other group are still with community people. They're like fair, someone would take care of them, but still they will not have food and maybe lack clothing and medication. So the Star of Hope Center is a really hope center. It's a place where they can come, find food, find an education, find some medication, and be loved and just have someone to take care of them. So they call me daddy. I'm a daddy of like 100 kids.
Now, how what has it meant as far as Vicki and her group, that the group here in Seattle? What has that meant to the Star of Hope Center, and how has that changed?
These Vicki and Dana and the group are such a very special people to me, and you know, as she mentioned, my story with Kyle. We
her son Kyle.
Yeah. When I went to the village, I thought I was just going to do something small, like within my means, and of course I would not have done much. But because of that link of Kyle Legman, Vicki and Dana's son, like one time Vicki just wrote some wild email. Leonard, what are you doing in your community and how can we like take part? And it was a small start of, we want to help get crop for food so that we may feed the kids, and later on Christmas and shoes for the kids, because they noticed from the pictures I sent them, all our kids are barefoot and all that. So that began something tremendous that has changed Star of Hope to look like a very special center in the village, whereby through their help we have been able to house the orphans. We have been able to meet their educational needs, medical needs, and just make the environment more livable. So they are such a strong link. In fact, I should say, like when they came, it's when we really got a really boost to start looking at ourselves as a program that is going to reach out and turn the community, touch the children and touch the community. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And now you've come across to just kind of share that, complete that link, or?
Yes. I would never have dreamt to come to America and living right in the rural of Kenya. But since they visited and they saw what was happening, it became like their special project to help me in every way to help the kids. And as we've been working together this particular function on Sunday, they felt very strongly that it'll be a good thing for me to be here, to meet the people who have been offering help. We call them education angels, and meet them in person and just like let them have a personal feel, the same experience they had when they came to Africa. And in this particular case, also allow me to experience, what can I say, this side of the world that informs whom we have treated like a special angel to our community back in Bungoma. Yeah.
Right. Educational angels.
Yes.
So you already got to experience some Zydeco last night. You were up dancing.
Yes.
Shaking.
They sent me some video recording of the past CD.
Oh, right.
So I've been mentioning that. So I've been like dreaming to come and be part of the do you call it Zydeco?
Zydeco.
Yeah, Zydeco.
Yes.
So last night was a really great experience, and like a rehearsal for what we're going to experience more tomorrow night. Tomorrow
That's
night,
right.
yes.
So let's get to that, and we'll wrap it up here. You can find information at this at starofhopecenter.org, and that's center with a CENTRE, starofhopecenter.org.
And I'll tell you that last year I heard someone up on the roof, which is where the eating goes on. I heard somebody looking out over at the view of Lake Union, called a friend, said, "You have got to get over here just for the view." Oh my gosh, this is an amazing 5-story house looking over. Fun music, dance lesson. The dance lesson is catered to non-dancers, so it's a good time for people who don't partner dance. And all of the money goes to these kids who, without Star of Hope, would not be eating, would get no education, would have absolutely no hope for the future. And that's really our goal. We're not just going to feed these kids. We're going to help them become agents of change out in their own world.
That's right.
Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Yeah.
Leonard, thank you. Vicki.
Was welcome. Thank you very much for having me. Yeah.
You're tuned to Music and Ideas on KBCS 91.3.
When I put my